Assalamualaikum, good morning, Khushamdeed, Jiayanu, Goedemorgen, Ishpata.
Bagheer ni hao, Chinashime, Washmale, Ohio, Gizaimis, Guten Morgen, Hola, Boyor, Privyet, Kaifahal, Hale Shumat Chatore, Ahlan Vasalan Marhaba, Buna, Mucho, Gracias, Swabia, Balli Kireaya, and thank you very much everybody for tuning in to PTV World. You're definitely watching what this morning. That's a very fantastic, amazing, scintillating, superb, dedicated and passionate, hard-working lady who happens to be the one and only Miss Shiza Hashmi, and I happen to be Shahzad Hassan Khan. It's a rainy Friday morning over here in Islamabad. We hope and pray that everybody out there is ready to kickstart their day with us. Hello Shiza, how are you doing on a very fine rainy morning over here in Islamabad?
Assalamualaikum, Shahzad. How do you think I'm doing on a rainy morning?
Well, I think you're doing absolutely fine, and it's because of the fact that you like this weather, even though that I do not. But I think even I'm liking it because, you know, it's not that it's raining cats and dogs, but it's drizzling a little, so I think it kind of adds up to your mood. You know, so I turned up a very romantic song early in the morning. I was like, hey, you know what? That's the kind of drive I need to have today. Yes. What about you? What was your, Obviously, she was listening to Eminem early in the morning.
I'll tell you why. So there are days when you really want your mood and energies to be set right in terms of professional work as well. So for that, I have a specific playlist which really drives me into the right direction, and that was what I was listening to. I mean, whatever works for us, right?
A playlist which can drive you in the right direction. Wow, I certainly want to have my hands on such a playlist, but that too, probably, ladies and gentlemen, is for the later segment of the show as well. But first things first, Prime Minister Imran Khan is visiting Russia. Everybody knows that. What's happening, the updates on that. Let's go, let's take a look.
So last night he was supposed to come back, our Premier Imran Khan Saab. He has underscored that Pakistan's commitment to forge a long-term and multi-dimensional relationship with Russia is very important.
Exactly, and you know what, Shiza, he further said that this in one-on-one meeting with President Vladimir Putin as part of his two-day official visit to Moscow, and they even held wide-ranging consultations on bilateral relations as well as regional and international issues of mutual interest.
Prime Minister Imran Khan expressed confidence that the positive trajectory of bilateral relations will continue to move forward in the future. He also reaffirmed the importance of Pakistan's Stream gas pipeline as a flagship economic project between the two countries.
And you know, the best part is that it looks like as if you're reading it from a newspaper here, but you know, you're very well aware. And you know why he also underlined the need to address humanitarian and economic crisis in Afghanistan and vowed to continue efforts to achieve stability in the war-torn country. And on the situation in South Asia, she said, you know what, the Prime Minister highlighted the serious human rights violations in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir.
And that was definitely the need of the hour, Shahzad. He underscored the imperative of peaceful resolution of the Kashmir dispute. On the situation in Ukraine, the very important issue, Prime Minister Imran Khan said Pakistan believes that disputes should be resolved through dialogue and diplomacy.
Wow, and you know, on this wonderful and expressing concerns of rising Islamophobia in the world, he stressed the need for interfaith harmony and coexistence. He also appreciated President Putin's understanding of the respect and sensitivities that the Muslims attach to the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
So I feel like this was definitely a very diplomatically successful visit.
Exactly.
And in the future, Pakistan, as always, loves peace in the region and around as well. We'll definitely continue to build our stronger relations with
Exactly, and no matter what, you know, I think my love for our Premier, Mr. Imran Khan, is going to grow every single day because the kind of a person he has and the kind of morals he carries and the kind of values he carries as well. He's a true leader, and we all love him.
Absolutely. But now, Shahzad, moving on to, well, my updates of the day. For all of you guys out there who are just like me, who don't have the patience for, what, 3 hours is it?
Yeah.
To watch the cricket match. Shahzad is here to let us know what happened. So, what's up with PSL?
Well, all right, you ladies and gentlemen, so Pakistan Super League Season 7, it was the #1 eliminator match just yesterday where it was Islamabad United versus Peshawar Zalmi, and talking about the match, ladies and gentlemen, it was nail-biting, and we never knew whether Islamabad United is going to win or Peshawar Zalmi because the teams did really very well as well. But in accordance to that, I think there are a few things which I really need to mention over here, and that is that Peshawar Zalmi batting first actually made 169 for the loss of 5 wickets, and then Islamabad United 174-5, which means that they actually won by 5 wickets as well. But the best part is that, you know, that the role which we thought that will be fulfilled by Shadab or Azam Khan or Asif Ali, they didn't really do that. I think it was Dawson who actually came in towards the end and made sure that he's going to chip in those victory sixes which we actually wanted as well. So Kamran Akmal 58 of 39, Shoaib Malik 55 of 43, Hassan Ali 3 wickets for 30 score, and Fahim Ashraf 1 for 15. Talking about Alex Sales, thank you very much, Alex, for coming back to PSL. You know, you are a wonderful contribution towards Islamabad United because you gave away 62 of 49 and Azam Khan 28 of 22. Whereas talking about Salman Irshad from Peshawar Zalmi did but throw wonderful Yorkers with 3 wickets and just giving away 31 runs as well. And then it was Khalid Usman who actually gave away only 17 runs and then got 1 wicket, which means that now today, it's actually going to be Islamabad United versus Lahore Qalandars. This is going to be the second and the last eliminator. And then on Sunday, we will have the HBL PSL Season 7's final. And we hope and pray, I hope and pray that it's actually going to be in between, I think, the Multan Sultan and Islamabad United.
Yes, same
I do not want...
And you know what, you and I, we will be so torn between that because I know you are supporting both of them, but I think you're supporting Islamabad United
and
more.
You're supporting Multan Sultan.
Of course, so we'll see where this goes on Monday. It will be such a fun show, definitely. But ladies and gentlemen, Pakistan is really, really proud to be hosting and to be honoring the women of Pakistan. Especially in this particular case, we're talking about Lareb Atta. She happens to be one of the youngest female visual artists, not only in Pakistan, but in the entire globe. Can you believe that? And this year, we are celebrating her because in the upcoming Oscars and the BAFTA Awards, which are going to be happening in March, she is nominated for visual artistry in the Bond movie No Time to Die.
Movie No Time to Die, and bagged a total of 3 nods in the 94th Academy Awards, including Best Original Story, Shiza, and Best Song and Best Visual Effects. The visual team for the movie includes young artists from obviously Pakistan, Miss Lareb Atta, the digital compositor for the movie. The team also received the nomination at BAFTA 2022 for Best Special Visual Effects. Lareb hails from Isa Khair region of Punjab, Pakistan, and is the daughter of legendary artist Ataullah Khan Isa Khairwi. She is among the youngest female VFX artists around the globe and has worked on some of the huge projects in Hollywood, including Godzilla, X-Men, Days of Future Past, and Mission Impossible Fallout, among others. Speaking about the nominations, the artist said, I would like to say thank you for all the kind messages and support I've been receiving for Oscar BAFTA nomination for visual effects on No Time to Die.
Wow. I'm so proud.
Thank you very much, Lareb, for making us all proud. Wonderful. I think it's a proud moment for your family, for all the Pakistanis who are out there. Keep up the good work.
And all the best of luck for the award itself as well. We are definitely really sure that you are going to back it. Of course, the work was absolutely
amazing. Because No Time to Die was a fantastic film and it has a lot of visual effects as well.
And the song.
Yes.
Billie Eilish, I think she is definitely going to take the award too. But Shazad, VFX or visual or what is it called? Visual effects studies for itself is now a degree. VFX, yes. And a lot of people are getting educated on it because when we talk about the future, and we've been talking about it so much, while digital is the future, yes, in terms of media and what comes in media, you have to expand your knowledge. It's not just sitting on a table and pressing buttons anymore. I mean, the world is so huge. But in terms of education and newer degrees coming in, there are people saying that there must be an education, there may be an educational emergency in Pakistan post-COVID. I don't know, some say we're back on track, some say we are in a crisis. What do you think is the situation?
I think I have a very different mindset in accordance to what you're asking, and it's because of the fact that, now the world has moved on towards having skills rather than, having those set of books in your cupboards and then, you're going through them, kind of learning each and every line, then representing it once again, that too in your evaluations. And I don't think that this is the concept of the newer world or Gen Z when we talk about it. Because, the top 500 Fortune companies say, we do not want to look at your degree, we would want to look at your skill set. And that's what is more important. But in order to get any skill set, you really need to have this very basic foundation of education, where you know your comprehension skills, where you know what to write, where you know what to deduct, and what to perceive of any given information which is right in front of you. And how you do it, because in today's world, it's the world of Internet of Things as well, exists all around us. And what we need is to be more specific in making sure that, hey, you know what, this is what I want to learn, and this is something which I want to stay away from. Because there's and nobody can learn each and everything about this globe or the world hereafter as well. So, you really need to pick and choose, and that too in accordance to your interest as well. So I don't believe that it's it's an education emergency. All I think is that the education institutions really need to make sure that whatever they're teaching to all of our future generations, that it's more focused, that it's more pipelined towards whatever they want to be in their near future.
Well, that is definitely a very interesting perspective, but I think let's talk to an expert or someone, a practitioner from the education industry itself. For that, ladies and gentlemen, we happen to have a social activist, of course, a teacher's trainer as well, and educationist who happens to be Miss Zarina Faraz. Assalamu alaikum, good morning.
Assalamu alaikum, good morning to you.
Welcome to our show. Thank you very much for joining us. It's wonderful to have you. First of all, Assalamu alaikum, ma'am. How are you?
Walaikum assalam. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. And I am quite well in front of you. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. And that's what we want. That's how we want it for everybody else as well. So first things first. Do you think that it's an education emergency over here in the country or world over?
It's not now. It's not now that it's needed. It was always needed.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was always needed. But we claimed, or maybe we did something. We took some steps, but they need to be more measured, more result oriented. They were not. I totally agree with what you were saying. A few lines I just took a few lines from you, that you are saying cramming the material, cramming certain lines is not the education. The same, I totally 100% I cannot agree more to that point, because this is the era of skills. When it comes to the knowledge, it is at your single click. For example, today if I need to talk about the PSL, I will get all the details from the internet and I'm ready to go.
Right.
So collecting all that information and reproducing it on some paper or saying something is not important. This is the era of skills. Even as a recruiter, when I recruit, I never see the marks the people are having with their certificates. I never see. I see what the person is now. What are the skills that the person possesses, right?
Okay.
So 4 skills are important. These are 4
Go ahead.
21st century skills. They are called 4 C's of 21st century.
Okay.
Your collaboration skill, your creativity, your coordination skill. These are the skills. Your communication. Communication is the topmost.
Collaboration, communication, creative, and
Cooperative.
Collaboration,
creativity, communication,
and cooperation.
Okay,
These 4 skills are more important. These are the 4 C's of 21st century. Well, you have lots and lots of degrees, but you cannot communicate for yourself. You are saying, sir, with shivering legs, you enter the office and you said, sir, I am a master's degree holder, and do you expect that I'm going to hire you with this condition?
Madam, please.
Exactly. So we need to work on something else. We need to prepare that kind of nation, that kind of confident people who can speak up for themselves.
Exactly. And in addition to that, Shiza, I know, but I think that it's going to have an instant response from ma'am as well. So what you're trying to convey over here is, in terms of an education emergency, that you're saying that for whatever values we've had, for example, 5 W's, what, why, where, when, and then obviously H comes in as well, where it is how.
Exactly.
So and all of these W's and H's were important till the time we were studying, and I believe that they're still very relevant as well.
They are
because after all of these W's is the time when we talk about C's, because we really need to know what, why, where, when, and how, or why probably. So how do you think that there's this transition within the concept of learning, where now we're not talking about all those basic questions, but rather we on a more advanced level talking about communication, creativity, cooperation, and then obviously there was one more, coordination as well.
These things will change when our classroom will change. When the classroom, the learning environment will change. When you look at the classroom, what is the classroom environment in this era? Just check out. It is, check out the classroom of 18th century. Check out the classroom of 19th century. Check out the classroom of 2022. It's the same. What is the difference? They used to sit on the mat and there was one teacher. Now what is happening? They are having some seats, some tables and chairs, and there is same board. They were using chalk and they are using board and marker. Where is the change? Things have developed over the time, but what about the education?
Exactly, that's true. You know what? Let's be very honest and let's be very clear over here. Do you think that there is a need for that to change? Because, for example, you said that, in 18th century the classrooms were the same. in 19th century the classrooms were the same, and in the 20th century the classrooms are the same, even in the 21st as well. Now imagine that for things which did have a change, or which did really kind of transition, for example, let's talk about automobile industry. We have smarter cars coming in, you've got sensors coming in, we've got new computers coming in, we have got cloud computing coming in, and it's wonderful. Do you think that there is a change required within the classrooms? And if you think yes, why and how are we going to do that?
Exactly. The classroom needs to be changed because we have to produce inquirers, risk
Yes,
takers,
so all we need to do is ask. No, but all we need to do is
communicators.
ask questions from the teacher rather than removing the blackboard. Why do you think that we are adamant of the fact that okay,
The whole
classroom
scenario
needs
is changed.
Yeah.
The whole scenario is changed. The role of the teacher is changed. In past, teacher was the only source of information, and one book used to be the source of information.
Okay.
Things are changed now.
Yes.
Students already know the knowledge that why the students are not engaged.
Yeah.
Because they have a colorful world around them when they are at home. They are in front of the LCDs.
Yep.
They have very colorful world in front of them. But when they enter the classroom, what is there in the classroom?
What is it?
Dull and drab.
Yeah.
Right.
And one teacher, she is lecturing something, and the child is laughing inside, deep
So you
inside,
want the
because he
classroom
knows
to be
more.
more colorful. That's what
It
you
should
think.
be student-centered, not colorful. They
Thank
are
you very much.
misinterpreting.
Yeah, that's what
They
I
are
wanted to listen to.
misinterpreting. They are misinterpreting.
That's what I wanted to
Classroom
listen to.
should not be colorful.
Then
We don't need ice cream, cake, classroom.
yeah, what do we want?
We want a pure student-centered learning classroom.
And how are we going to get it?
Okay, very good. If you want to see that the classroom is teacher-centered or student-centered, just stay at the door of the classroom and see who is doing more.
Okay.
Meaning?
If the students are doing more, the class is student-centered. If the teacher is doing more, the classroom is teacher-centered.
Okay. Yeah.
Got it?
Yeah.
When the students are involved, when there are learning noises going on in the classroom, it means the classroom is student-centered. They are not the passive learners, they are the active learners. But when the teacher is speaking, when we talk about the learning pyramid that is given by the research, if any one of you can Google it, it is, if you just Google learning pyramid, you will see that if you keep on lecturing, students' retention rate will be 5%.
True.
Right.
True.
If you go down to that pyramid, teaching others, an opportunity to teach others will take your retention rate up to 90%.
True.
Oh, interesting.
When you engage your learners in an activity that is like, in form of presentation, student presentation, actually what you are doing, you are making it sure that the student retains 90% of the content that he received in the classroom. This is the science behind.
Yeah.
And that is brilliant. And Ms. Zarina, I think we really have to applaud your approach over here, or your perspective. So for all of those people who might still have a confusion, I think I totally stand by you where you said that classrooms need to change. That doesn't mean ke wall paint kar do or remove the blackboard. It means the classroom, the system needs to evolve.
Ma'am,
So rather
just
than
1 minute. Please remove that concept that the classroom should be decorated. We don't need cupcakes. We don't need.
I think you're really annoyed with that concept. Well, I totally get that. But yes, with the changing times, definitely everything needs to evolve, and education is going to be pertinent and timeless throughout our lives, of course. I mean, there's always a time to learn, there's always a time to be educated, so it's not going out of fashion, but it has to be, evolved. In the first question, you actually spoke about something so interesting, that people with a lot of degrees, and this is a very Pakistani-centered concept that we're talking about, maybe an Asian concept as well, not necessarily Pakistan, but it does happen. People go for a lot of degrees just because they want to be educated. Great things, I totally support that. I am also that person. But where you said there's no quality or skill set they have, there's no personality for that matter. So now is the time, ladies and gentlemen, 2022, you are your own brand. You are your own franchise. You will sell yourself as a service, and that is what matters, because the Naukri system or seeking a job is not there anymore. You yourself are a brand. So ma'am, I'm going to bring you back to the first question, and I want you to wrap it up in a way, in a practical tips way as well. What can people do who have such personalities? And you know what, I have examined it a lot. It actually stems from their primary schooling, the environment that they grew up in, a very tight household where they weren't supposed to sound their voices in everything.
Like classroom.
So many factors. So what can they do right now to evolve their personality?
Well, no change can happen overnight.
Yeah.
Things are always gradual and incremental.
True.
and the things will happen through professional development.
True.
Okay.
When the teacher will change, classroom will change. So we are working. I appreciate that the government is doing, people are doing, I appreciate that, but a lot more is needed.
Yes. A large scale.
At a larger scale, and we should, private sector and the government, they should go hand in hand, because the cause is the same.
Exactly.
Ask me why? Because the major cause, we are working to serve the education, whether private sector, whether government sector.
Yes.
We are working for the same. When I talk about the educational emergency, I say please don't degrade or disgrace the private sector even, support them, be with them, put a hand on their heads, and take them with you, because they have infrastructure, they have the classroom. If you are saying the classrooms are not big, no problem. Classroom has changed into learning space. The whole world has been replicated into the classroom.
Exactly.
So what is the big question about that?
And there's no question about it, but thank you very much, ma'am, for being with us. It was lovely to be in conversation, and thank you very much for highlighting how there's an emergency which exists. And, very sorry for the hard question, and it's because of the fact that I wanted both sides of the picture to be out there, because there will always be people who would say, hey, you know what, you're wrong. And then there will be people who will say, hey, you know what, you're absolutely right. So I wanted to be with the side where we're all right, ladies and gentlemen. And to be very honest, I think that the only change we might require in our classrooms is that we really need to make them more interactive. If we can have reality TV shows where each and every person sitting within the audience can actually vote or say whatever he or she feels just by a click, or just by pressing a single button, why can't we do it in a classroom? I think it's just for the schools to invest in the right technology, which will make students more interactive, and obviously the learning will be enhanced, and that will be an experience in itself. I would want to go back to that one classroom where it's more interactive rather than just the teacher giving away notes.
Absolutely, Shahzad, I stand with you in this as well, because it's not the time where we're going to study social studies, math, English, science. I mean, those times have passed, right? The amount of, or the realm of education itself has expanded so much. It's so interesting. Music, for that matter. I mean, if you were to become my teacher, I'd ask you to teach me how to rap, because you're so good at it. So maybe we'll do that in the next segment, but for that you'll have to stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen.
And as soon as you guys will be coming back, ladies and gentlemen, she will do the welcome back as well, and that too she will be rapping, all right?
Well, we'll find out.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the one and only morning show. Yeah, let's do it. We're going for a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with a superstar all the way from Hollywood, making sure that he's going to include his Pakistani roots. How? That's the question after the break.
Good morning. Welcome back to This Morning, the only best show in the entire world. This is Shazad Khan and I'm Shiza Hashmi, and today we're good. I don't know.
Wow, you just killed it, lady. You just killed it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, if we haven't already given it away, today we are going to be in conversation with two of the best Pakistani rappers over here in the studios. But I think Shazad has a better intro, of course.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, first things first, this gentleman all the way from Hollywood was here 2 or 3 years ago, and quite a lot has happened. You know, the last time he was here, he's released an international song and that too with Bohemia. Bohemia happens to be hailing from Pakistan as well. I mean, his side job is to be a doctor, to be very honest, and since it was COVID, you know, he made sure to, you know, just be at the front line and help each and every one of them as well. And the best part is that he kind of works in Vegas, and he kind of raps, and he's one of those people who's got the likes of Eminem, Snoop Dogg, 50 Cent, or any other rapper we do talk about as of now. Ladies and gentlemen, we're lucky, we are proud that, you know, we have an asset over here in the house, and he happens to be Lazarus. Hello, assalamu alaikum, good morning, how are you?
Assalamu alaikum, Pakistan. Kaise hain sab log?
Absolutely perfect, thank you very much for joining us. So, ladies and gentlemen, aka what we really need to say is Dr. Kamran Rashid Khan as well. Hello, thank you very much, a very warm welcome. How does it feel to be back?
Feels good, man, and it all depends on the day. You know, sometimes I'm Dr. Kamran Rashid Khan, other days I wake up as Lazarus. It really depends on the day.
Today you woke up as Lazarus?
Today I woke up as, let me think, Lazarus.
Lazarus.
Wake up, I'm looking, I woke up as Lazarus.
And it's wonderful to have you over here. And just very recently, ladies and gentlemen, 10 days ago, they released a song, and Lazarus partnered with a Pakistani prodigy over here in Pakistan, and he happens to be Mr. Vikas Bloch, also known as Kaka Thousand. Hello, assalamu alaikum, good morning, kya haal hai?
Walaikum salam, kaise aap theek hain?
Allah ka shukr, hum bilkul theek hai. And for everybody who's out there, ladies and gentlemen, Kaka has actually sung hundreds of songs, and that's with his brother, and with Lazarus now as well, with the name of Pakistan King. And we will certainly share the video with you and the music and everything. But first thing first, Laz, how was it when you were here last time, and what has happened and what has changed in your life? Did you get married?
Yeah. You know, Pakistan is just a beautiful place, man. I'm just, every time I come here, I fall in love once again. You know, it's like, you know, it reminds me of where I come from, my heritage, my roots. And I'm just so proud of the country. I'm just so proud of the talent that's coming out of this country. So, you know, I'm an international hip-hop artist. You know, I hail from Detroit, Michigan. I was born and raised, you know what I'm saying, and grew up with D12, with Royce the 5'9", mentoring me in the studio to be a rapper, to be an MC, and it's just been in my blood to just be an artist, to put rhymes together, and just the love of the art of hip-hop itself. And I've worked with Bohemia. I got a song with Raftar. It's called Maharaja. We did for WWE wrestler Jinder Mahal. And then, you know, I'm, you know, working on stuff with Yo-Yo, Honey Singh, and just a bunch of artists, man. But my whole thing is I'm looking at the scene, and ever since 2019 and Gully Boy came out, I just seen this just surge in hip-hop music all over India and Pakistan. And it's just looking at all the different talent. And then, you know, but just blown away by everything that's here.
And it's just wonderful. And, you know, what I was trying to refer to was that obviously, you know, after, you know, since you mentioned Gully Boy over here as well, so, you know, we've had our own rappers, you know, coming out. For example, let's talk about Faris Shafi, and then there's melodic rapping as well.
Faris Shafi has been working for so long. I hate it when people say he just...
No, it's not that he just came in. What we're trying to say over here is that rap kind of just came up as well. You know, there was a boom and everybody wanted to do so, and the music scene has already changed, you know, where people earlier used to play sitar and guitar and everything. Now it has just come down to one laptop, and that's pretty much you perform the way that it is. And the best part over here is that you actually happen to have Eminem's brother as your DJ too as well.
Shout out to Nathan Mathers, man.
Yes.
Nathan Mathers been DJing for the Laz Army over there in the States, man. So
and Laz Army is big in the States as well.
Yeah, man. You know, and I toured with the Wu-Tang Clan in 2019. So I toured the whole world. I think we did 32 cities. So we went to Australia, we went to New Zealand, we went through all of Europe, most of America, and just all over, man. And you know, the Wu-Tang Clan is the biggest rap group in the world. So I'm just, you know, watching these guys perform, and just to be able to open up for them in front of 20,000, 30,000 people, all whites and blacks in the crowd. It's a scary feeling, because they go like desi banda ja raha hai and in sabke samne, and it's like, how are you supposed to, you know, like get the crowd to get up? And right before the Wu-Tang. Now the Wu-Tang is considered the most lyrical MCs on the planet. So if you're not living up to the game, you're getting booed out of there. So I come on the stage right before the Wu-Tang Clan, and I do what I do, And when I get everyone in the crowd doing this, that's Laz Army.
Yes.
Then it's like, man, I done succeeded.
And that's wonderful, which is why now we're going to come down to the Pakistani king as well, and how you got your hands onto Mr. Vikas Baloch, who just happens to be 11 years old.
Right. So, you know, I started my company, Laz Army Records, and I'm not just an artist. I got my own label. So looking at it, one of my biggest agendas is to take the talent, especially here in Pakistan, and to help showcase it to other parts of the world. I've shown rappers from here to Tech 9, to D12, to Royce the 5'9", to Crooked Eye. And the thing is, you know, it's like every time like I'm going through artists from here, and then people that I'm showing overseas who don't Urdu samajh nahi hai, they don't understand Urdu. Yeah. But then as soon as Vakas's music gets on the screen, it doesn't matter if you're a white, black, Chinese, Hispanic. Their eyes light up like a Christmas tree.
Of course.
So I'm looking at this kid and I'm like, you know, he's a kid from Liadi, Pakistan, and he's already got a hype on his name.
Liadi is so talented for some reason.
But
I mean,
I was just like, I contacted his brother, Asif, and little did I know, there was already engagement on my social media with him from the past. They had sent me music and stuff like that. I was like, okay, we already made an intro in the past. So I didn't even realize that was happening. It's just, so I just got in touch and I was like, you know, we need to work on something. We did a song called Bande Kharab with me, Kak Thousand, and Asif Vali, and then I just signed him to my label. And now it's like I want to showcase this kid to the rest of the world.
Which is why, you know, we're going to move on to Vikas as well. So Vikas, जब आपको पता चला कि आप Laz Army के साथ जो है और इस लेबल के साथ काम करेंगे, आपने कैसा महसूस किया? और आप तो इतने गाने गा चुके हैं, आपको तो लोग एक्सपर्ट कहते हैं रैपिंग का, आपको कहते हैं कि फ्लो भी आपका सबसे अच्छा है, और सबसे ज्यादा रैप में फ्लो ही मेरा ख्याल है माने रखता है. तो फिर कैसे हुई ये कोलैबोरेशन और कितना अच्छा महसूस किया आपने इस सारी चीज को?
ये बहुत अच्छा अचीवमेंट था मेरे लिए. और ऐसा होता है कि जिसको आप सुनते हो ना, जिसको सुन के आप रैपर बनते हो, उस बंदे के साथ आपकी बातचीत और गाना है तो किसको अच्छा नहीं लगेगा.
तो आप Laz Army को सुनते रहे हो, लाज़रस को सुनते रहे हो?
बिल्कुल. मैं अपने भाई आसिफ और लाज भाई को सुनता था मैं, और उनसे सीखता भी था रैपिंग. मैं उनको इन दोनों को सुन के रैपिंग सीखा.
I think that's wonderful. So what Vikas is trying to say over here is he said that, you know, that the people you idealize, the people you listen to, and when you get to work for them, it's a very wonderful feeling, and indeed it needs to be. You know, for example, one day, if I think, you know, I mean, I have a lot of people I wanted to work with. I don't know whether I should say it over here, but probably, you know, I'll keep it for some of the day as well. But I think it's about time that we share the video. It has already had 400,000 views on YouTube, ladies and gentlemen, in 10 days of its release. Let's go ahead. Let's take a listen to Pakistani King.
Let's do this.
Yeah. Nowadays, everybody trying to be part of the culture, huh? But they not representing real hip-hop. So this is what I'ma do. I'ma let y'all take a seat. Yeah. And I'ma let my young king show you what time it is.
Kaky Thousand.
Get him.
So फीसद मेरे सा गेम पे हूँ भारी. हिप-हॉप खेत और मैं इसको देता के बेपानी. मेरा कलम जैसे रैपर से चलता कुल्हाड़ी. मैं पाकिस्तान से कराची के यहाँ मैं शिकारी. मैं वो खिलाड़ी जो बना है शायर इस उम्र में. पैदाशी रैपर पैदा हुआ हूँ रैपर के घर में. फिर कैसे जालिम ना होते ये मेरे बाल. मैं मस्ती में लिख रहा फिर भी ये लाइनें आग. बचे हैं आगे 7 बार इस लाइन के बाद है लेज़र मिसाल तो फिर समझो गेम स्टार्ट. ऊपर से मेरा आर्ट मुझे देता ज्यादा मौके. मेरा पर हूँ कमाल फिर भी चलने वाले भूखे. ये चलने वाले रोके फिर भी रुकते नहीं फैन मेरे. मैं तो खामोश रहता गाने का तो शोर मेरे. हम जैसे तोड़ बने असलियों के साथ खड़े. अब्बा वालों गैंग सीधा लेजेंड लोग का गौर
Got
बने.
the world in my hands, Pakistani king. I ain't afraid of nobody. What your haters gon' bring? I'm a bad boy, hit you like an asteroid. Last army in the building, get your cash, boy. Got the world in my hands, Pakistani king. I ain't afraid of nobody. What your haters gon' bring? I'm a bad boy, hit you like an asteroid. Last army in the building, get your cash.
Well, I think, Shazad, you're doing whatever you're doing is right because we all caught the groove.
Yeah.
Both of you, congratulations. This was
We shared the best of both the worlds as well, you know.
Definitely. And you know what? I really love it when Pakistani artists actually, bring, of course, a great name to Pakistan. But then, after getting so much fame, you also made something for the world to remember what Pakistan is.
Absolutely.
And then you told them that you guys are the Pakistani kings. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
But how, of course, there are a lot of views. But how has the reception been for this song in your international audience?
The reception has been great. I mean, I've been getting phone calls from, like I said, the likes of Tech Nines, the D12s, and all those guys, and they're just like, "Yo, this kid is amazing!" Like, "Oh, this is," and it's just the reception's been fantastic from all of them.
Exactly, and since you've mentioned Tech Nine twice as well, so a lot of people might
shout out to Tech Nine.
Yeah, because I've been listening to Tech Nine's music as well, and I think it's a constant on my gym list as well.
Okay.
We stay hungry, we devour.
Yeah.
And the lyrics.
Yeah, he got the Rock to start rapping, man. Could you believe that?
And he made the Rock to rap as well. But Tech Nine or the other clan, who do you think you'll sign up with? Because that's the most important question in your rapping career as of now.
Well, I mean, I think if it's more like who would I partner with, because I mean, I really want to, take my record label, Laz Army Records, to that next level. But I would love to partner up with Strange Music or somebody from Wu-Tang Clan or something along that line. You know what I'm saying?
Not Tech Nine?
Yeah, why not? You know what I'm saying? We're talking.
All right.
We got a record. Me and Tech Nine got a song that is currently in process.
Wow, and we just cannot wait for that because I have a higher anticipation and expectations from you. And this is one thing which I wanted to ask. So, when you went to US, you became a doctor, and you always wanted to have yourself as an artist, and you felt like that. You kept on writing because the last time you were here, you told us all about that as well. But for somebody who does not really belong to that particular area, and that too within the community of rapping, it's just difficult to get into those big names, which we visualize sitting back over here as well, that, hey, you know what, it's a big thing that you've achieved so far. Was it really very difficult for you to do, or do you think that you've chased it so many times that it actually had nowhere else to go rather than
That's a very good thing that you just said just there, because at the end of the day, they say it's like, so at the end of the day, you'll get lucky if you do something, but there's no such thing as luck. It's all about persistence. I've been chasing hip hop for the longest, and I'm like drilling it down while I'm studying, while I'm in the hospital for 14 hours a day. I mean, it's a matter of just persistence at the end of the consistency and being persistent. And that's what I tell kaky about all as well. You never give up, you never stop, you just keep pushing because you got love for something, you got passion, and you got to be adamant, and you got to take it all the way to the finish line no matter what.
Yeah, and it's important, and it's going to come to you then.
Yeah, and it will have no choice because you're not chasing it anymore, it's chasing you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a great mantra. But moving on to you, Waqas or kaky, मैं आपको क्या बुलाऊं? काकी?
काकी
ठीक है. So काकी, बहुत अच्छी बात है और हम बहुत खुश हैं इस चीज़ से कि आप एक्चुअली अपनी पढ़ाई भी परस्यू कर रहे हैं साथ साथ, उसको बिल्कुल मत छोड़िएगा. लेकिन अब आपके पास फेम है, आपको लोग जानते हैं, आपका काम लोगों के आगे आ चुके हैं, लोग आपका टैलेंट जानते हैं. क्या फ्यूचर आपका प्लान है? डू यू वांट, आपको रॉक स्टार ही बनना है या शायद आप चेंज कर लेंगे? 5 साल बाद वकास या काकी 1000 कौन है? कैसे देखते हैं आप इसको?
मैं ऐसा देखता हूँ कि मैं और बड़ा हो जाऊं तो मैं लेस भाई की तरह मैं भी डॉक्टर बन सकूं.
वाह,
डॉक्टर बनना चाहता
और दूसरी बात आपको बताऊं, मैं म्यूजिक प्रोड्यूसर भी हूँ.
वाह.
और वीडियो भी करता हूँ मैं.
वेरी नाइस.
और मैं
यूट्यूब चैनल है आपका?
जी,
बहुत जरूरी है वो.
So with Laz Army, we have one-man army as well, ladies and gentlemen. Waqas actually wants to be a doctor.
स्कूल को भी एडजस्ट कर रहा हूँ इसके साथ.
And he's studying. And he's studying. What's the
video in Sargoda. He shot it.
Wow.
And let me tell you something. I work with a lot of videographers.
Yeah.
He's up there.
Wow. And that's fantastic. And your parents, his parents must be very proud as well. And he belongs to a family where his elder brother is a rapper. I think what we really need to do right now is that we really want you guys to kind of exhibit your talent for our audiences in 47 different countries. So whatever you feel like, please go ahead. Let's do this.
Check this out. Look. I'm King Solomon, I conquer like the Ottomans to make the law of parliament. The parliament you caught up in is I am the product of people calling them a Osama bin Laden, then I give it to you raw. No season and economists, you drop it with the minerals, the vitamins, too little for the firemen. You listen and your mind is spin. Get the subtitles and to get up to the height of in a Burj Khalifa. Swinging like a Spider-Man, stepping up the bat again, a rocket like a freezy. Knocking out the field now, I'm popping out the TV. Drop it like it's easy, nobody I can see me. I'm pocking Oz and Wheezy, Nawazuddin Siddiqui. Master like Aladdin to a genie. Poet like Allama Ghalib, teach me. Hungry like it's Ramadan, so feed me. Another rapper's head and regarded as my Eevee. I'm from the gutter, I'm from the cut up rappers trying to copy, but started like me, no other hit me, but I drop you and smother I've been this is the video I shot, but the I'm been rapper born on Layla took other goblets, my mother hustle till a lie, and my cover got to my summer every day I start with a fudge fight for my brother's freedom and the rights of each other, all skin and color.
Wow, that was fantastic.
For the world, who won it with me?
Yeah, that was fantastic.
Absolutely love the cultural references, everything that you're representing, not only from Pakistan, inclusion, definitely love it. Because, I mean, if you have the power and you're not using your power for entertainment and awareness, you definitely, I don't know what you're doing. So thank you for doing that.
इसलिए अब बारी है वकास की. वकास कह रहा है कि मेरा गला थोड़ा खराब है, हम मार्जिन देंगे, लेकिन वकास अभी थोड़ा सा मुझे पता है कि आर्टिस्ट अक्सर ये हो जाता है कि गला खराब होता है, लेकिन आज कोशिश करनी है आपने. आज कोशिश करते हैं मिलकर. कम ऑन,
आप मानते रहे, आप जो भी करेंगे वो ठीक हो.
क्योंकि बंदे खराब हम सुधरेंगे नहीं, खोदे हैं रैपर्स की कब्र भी कहीं. छोटे उम्र में न जाना तुम मेरे एज से खुद को मैं दिखता ही नहीं. मुझे लगता है सब कुछ पास मेरे ध्यान दे तो खुद पे मैं दुनिया के छोड़ चले. तुझे लगता है सब कुछ पास तेरे पर मेरे सामने न कभी जरा मुंह खोले. ठाठा मेरे बोल के रेफार जब आता हूँ मैं बीट पे तो चले मेरे स्टाइल. ब्ला ब्ला सारे बंद करो कार में हूँ आने वाला दौर मुझे अभी से तो प्यार. मेरे सामने न बन शहर में हूँ तेरा बाप इस फ्लो में है. अब तुझे कर दूंगा रैप में हूँ रैप का किताब मुझे पढ़ जगह आज तुझे गन गैप हम इतने खराब.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Absolutely.
Wow, that's just wonderful, yeah. And you know, I mean, you obviously happen to be a prodigy. You've been chasing your dream for so long. Finally, it's here. But for him, whoa, I think everybody's just blown away by the talent you possess, Vikas, and we certainly want to wish you best of luck as well. But now talking about your, what do you think your fans can expect in near future from you? Because you have just told us within the show that you were in conversation with a lot of amazing producers and you're working on different sorts of music as well. So what can we expect?
Right. So a lot. I'm working on an album for myself. I'm working on his album. And, you know, I was in the studio with him and, man, it's just like, I just feel so proud that we're able to evolve his style. Because I got him doing different flow patterns. I got him doing all types of different things with his flow, and I just can't wait for the world to hear what our partnership sounds like, because it's going to translate musically.
True.
And so I'm working on his project, my project. Like I said, I got a lot of big collaborations on the table. You know, I'm doing some stuff with Yo-Yo Honey Singh, and Yo-Yo Honey Singh, you know, supports both of our music. So, you know, it's a great thing. And Bohemia and I have another project underway as well. So I can't wait for the world to hear that. That's going to be an epic one right there. And then, so international things aside, you know, and I'm working with, like I said, Tech 9. Me and him got a track coming out. And then I'm constantly working on stuff with D12, Royce. Me and Royce the 5'9" got another song coming out too.
Wow.
So I like doing a lot of collaborations. I love solo stuff too, but collaboration is something fun about the competitiveness of that.
And that's what I wanted to talk about, because, you know, just in the first segment, we actually had a wonderful teacher over here who actually kind of taught us how the world has changed from 5 W's to having 4 C's as well. And one of the C was collaboration, and the other one was creativity as well.
It's such a big hype thing when people see it. You know, I just released a song that had Kid Shot. Now, Kid Shot is considered to be the fastest rapper in India, and we had Tala Yunus from Young Stunners on that song with me. Wow. So it was like all these different areas coming together, and I just think that was really dope to see, because we're bringing the world together with hip hop.
Exactly, wonderful. Vikas, हम क्या expect कर सकते हैं आपसे आने वाले दिनों में? कैसा म्यूजिक आप प्रोड्यूस कर रहे होंगे और कैसे रैप गाने आप रिलीज करेंगे?
इंशाल्लाह मैं चाहता हूँ कि आगे मैं जाके ना और भी बेहतर हो जाऊंगा इंशाल्लाह.
अभी बेहतर तो हो ही अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह, लेकिन कैसे गाने अब प्रोड्यूस करोगे? क्योंकि म्यूजिक तो चेंज हो गया पाकिस्तान में भी, बड़ा इलेक्ट्रॉनिक म्यूजिक हो गया अब. नहीं,
तो मतलब कि हम आपसे रैप ही एक्सपेक्ट करें? हो सकता है कि आप कुछ और एक्सपेरिमेंट
करें. गाना ही गा दो, तुम कहो कि यार कोरस भी अच्छा गाऊंगा अब.
हाँ, ऐसे हो सकता है.
समथिंग लाइक दैट.
नहीं यार, ऐसा हो सकता है, लेकिन फ्यूचर में अभी फिलहाल तो नहीं.
He's constantly evolving. Like, and now he's producing now. He's producing and directing and editing and all types of stuff. So I can see him venturing in all places. Even he doesn't know it yet, but he's going to do it.
I mean, you know what? I think there's a very few percentage of the people of such breed who actually know where they're headed. And you know, when I was 11 years old, I certainly didn't know.
I certainly didn't
where I was going.
I didn't start rap till I was like 16, 17.
Exactly.
So when I was and he started rap at 5.
Wow.
And that's just wonderful. So we want to wish you guys best of luck. Thank you very much for being with us. It was lovely to be in conversation. And so towards the end, what we want to do is that we want you to kind of wrap it up for us, and while you wrap it, please make sure that you do it with your rap as well. All right, so if we can do that, I think that'll be
I don't
wonderful.
know, Kaky, you want to do a rap real quick?
Can you do something?
Or I can start and then you can take it away. Okay, do you want to do that?
We'll just close it off.
All right, so
You know,
what
give
we're
a
going to do
shout-out.
is that we're going to give away the link. So ladies and gentlemen, please make sure that you write to us on our Facebook page, which is with the name of,
Well, this morning.
on Twitter,
Well, this morning without a G.
on Daily Motion and YouTube,
Well, this morning.
and the fabulous repeat's going to be at
5 past midnight.
So Karachi se Cheen tak, Puri Pak se Zameen tak, deta nahi koi bhi hugs.
Shout out. Hey, yo, make sure you go check out LazArmyGear.com, man. We got the Laz Army gear on the website. It's available now. You can get the Laz Army
आप
mask.
लोग भी ऐसे करें
Everybody hum sub L
Laz
to
Army.
Laz Army.
Yeah.
And, you know, I want to give a shout out to the University of Lahore also because they actually sponsored me on this visit.
Wow.
So I actually gave speeches. I gave a speech. I was in Sargodha in the University of Lahore Center in Lahore and the University of Lahore Center in Sargodha, and I actually gave a motivation speech to the students there,
Wow.
to the entire student body, and it was an amazing experience.
And it's just wonderful. Thank you very much, Vikas, for being with us. And you know,
Shout
there are
out
a
to
lot of kids.
Sarjeel Khan for hooking that up, man.
Yeah. And there are a lot of kids who are going to take inspiration from you. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, I think everybody who wants to do whatever they feel,
Yes.
they can certainly do that. And Vikas is an example of that. And Laz is an example of that too as well. So look after yourselves. 1, 2, 3. Juma Mubarak. Allah Hafiz. Good morning.